Hello, I'm Clint Walker, and this is Real Estate Appraiser Secrets. And today we're going to answer the question, is AI good at valuing homes? Now, I actually did get asked that question in one of the last classes that I taught, and I love that question because it's extremely relevant, and also the facial expressions I get to make during class when I get asked that question really get a great laugh. Which is rewarding for me. To answer the question, spoiler alert, no, AI is not good at valuing homes, which is extremely ironic because practically everybody and every institution is dying to use AI to value your homes. From Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the FHA and the government-sponsored enterprises who make our mortgage industry go round, all the way down to the buyers and sellers that you and I have to interact with on a daily basis. They all are just dying for AI to value their homes. And it's interesting to me because you've probably seen this criticism before, just like I have, that, oh, it's just appraisers just giving their opinion, and it's not, opinions aren't worth anything. And if you have two appraisers come out to your property, they're both going to have a different opinion of value. To some extent, all of that is entirely true. If you have two appraisers come to your property, if you have 10 appraisers come to your property and do an appraisal, you're probably going to get 10 different values because it is 10 human beings coming out and, for the most part, applying the same techniques, but they will each potentially like different comps for the property. They may each potentially think that one of those comps is more compelling than others of those comps. They might each have different methods of reconciling their final opinion of value. For instance, when I was a trainee and the supervisor taught me how to do appraising, he liked to reconcile his final opinion of value to one comp and its adjusted price. So if that comp came out to $451,000, he was going to say $451,000, not rounding down or up, just that number. And he felt like that was the wise thing to do, because if somebody asked him, like, we can get audited. If he was audited and somebody said, why did you call it this number? You can point right to one comp. Other appraisers, they will take a weighted average. And so if their first three comps are 448, 448, and 452, they will say 448 because two of them came out there, or they'll say, whatever a weighted average is. I don't do weighted averages, so I don't know exactly how that plays out. But there's a lot of different ways and reasons that these 10 different appraisers could use to reconcile their final opinion of value and give different numbers. But interestingly, if you go online and look at the 3 or 4 different websites that will give you AI estimates of your home prices, you will find that you got 3 or 4 different values there. They don't agree, and they're machines. So, I don't think that, given that the two valuators are each susceptible to giving out a range of different numbers and never agreeing, I don't think that's a fair criticism of human appraisers when the machines can't do any better in that regard. The other big problem with the AI valuations is sort of like your tax appraisal. They're using big data techniques, which are not specific to the property. They are making valuations based on high-level looks at the market, at massive amounts of closed sales. So these are higher-level views than you'll ever get from your lone appraiser who goes to the property, walks through it, takes their own photos, measures it by hand, and ultimately applies appraisal techniques and comes up with an opinion of value. That right there is always why you're going to have a more reliable, potentially have a more reliable value from a human appraiser than from any of the machines or the county assessor's office or anybody who doesn't go on the property. The condition of the property is extremely relevant to the value of it. Now, new construction, often it doesn't have a condition. Well, the condition is new, so it doesn't have a negative condition factor to figure in. But also, new construction has other elements that none of the high-level looks at the local real estate market can factor in. So, long story short, no, the AI is not good at valuing properties. Now, if you may have had some experience recently with your buyers getting appraisal waivers or not needing an appraisal at all, and even this phenomenon speaks to the lack of reliability that the AI underwriting is able to do in their valuations. So what has happened with these appraisal waivers is that the GSEs and mortgage investing market has determined that the borrower creditworthiness and down payment is a more important, more relevant factor in underwriting than the actual valuation of the property. So what they're doing, what they're saying when they say that is that they're okay with their algorithm valuation being 10 or 15% off, or having a variation or a deviation of a certain amount. I'm just kind of making up those numbers, but it is the range is sort of kind of crazy wide if you were to think about it in terms of an appraiser going out and giving you a single number valuation. So it's basically they're okay with the algorithm saying, yeah, this house is worth 500 to 550. We don't really know. We can't really be more specific than that. If the borrower has a very high credit score or is putting down a large down payment, because a borrower with a high credit score is probably not going to default. That's the conclusion they've come to. So what does it matter what the house is worth? But all of that is a nod to the AI not being very good at valuing houses. And it's not that, it's a factor of, or combination of the AI not being very good, but also just the complexity of actually doing real estate appraisals and valuations. Houses are like people. I say this all the time. Houses are like people. They get very complicated very quickly. No two are the same. And as an agent working in the market, you know that there is an element of emotion to buying houses that cannot be really captured in something as objective as data analysis. Just doesn't play out. Somebody might come in and they like a color better, they like a floor plan better, it feels better. Lots of feelings go into this, and that's one of the things that makes real estate great, but that's one of the things that makes real estate appraising and valuation not so precise. To that end, sometimes we can't do this in lender work, but in private work, with the client's permission, we will sometimes not do a single number valuation. We'll sometimes, especially for pre-listing, tell the client, look, we got a range of values for this property, and reconciling to a range is the most realistic valuation. So maybe this house is worth 700 to 720. 720 would be the high end. That might leave you on the market a little longer. That might look a little aggressive to buyers. 700 is the low end of this range, and that might get you a sell a little faster. As far as the market value of this property, it realistically exists in this range, okay? We could say 720, that would be fair, but the range is also fair to provide. And then let the seller make the call, or let you and the seller make the call. So, appraising is not an exact science. We use scientific techniques to form an opinion of value, and for that reason, it can vary. And your human appraiser, by going in the property and being competent, I'm hesitant to say an expert on the market that they're working in, but I think many of us become experts on the market we're working in, is always just going to be more reliable, more authoritative than the way any of these website algorithms can provide you with a valuation. They simply don't know the property well enough to get it right. They're just using a large data set and price per square foot and publicly available information to spit a number out and provide you with some content and some reason to go to their website. So I hope that's helpful. Maybe it's helpful in talking to your potential listing or buyer who's really hung up on what they're seeing online as a value for the property. Maybe it's helpful in understanding just that your appraiser is not perfect, and this is not a perfect science, and it is not realistic to expect two appraisers to have the same opinion of value. It's just an opinion. So if I can help you with anything ever, a professional measurement or a consultation or a listing or a private appraisal, please find us at truepointappraisals.com and shoot me a call. Give me a call. Send me a text. Be happy to help you. I also appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. That will help you see more videos as I try to release them on a regular basis. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you next week.